What's up, guys? We're back. Sorry about that. What's good, everyone? What's up, my bros? What's good?
What's good? What's good?
We're back after Tori just ended our last live,
Yeah.
for the second time.
So let's not make
Don't worry, if all of a sudden we all go black again, we know why.
Mm-hmm.
Tori, we get you're tired, but there's a button you don't push. Wait till we're
That's
actually
this one
done,
that's
okay?
down on the bottom of your phone says big ass red button says
Now.
end.
Hey,
Lead
no,
us
I
to
got a button for you all. Real nice. It's at Target.
You got a what for
this
us?
fool. So
He
yeah,
said I
so,
got a present for you.
Hey, the only
so
thing
we're
we,
talking about the D tackle with
Jonathan
Hankins.
Hankins.
Yep.
Talking
No,
about
only
these
thing, not
nuts.
Tori. The only thing we don't want your middle finger, bro.
Yeah,
Anyways,
bro. We don't want that. You'll do that with some chick.
Hey, he does that to himself. Get it right. Anyways,
How'd you know?
Oh, he got
I
you.
Right
mean,
up the other end.
Damn.
Dang, dang.
Yeah.
He pulled it out.
listen,
His-
hey, you know what?
Gang,
Wait a
gang,
minute, you
not
know
a
what?
gang.
Hey, we're not
he
here.
said-
Wait,
Gang,
listen,
not
he
a
said that
bang.
ain't pudding.
listen, we're not
That
here
ain't
to
pudding.
judge you. If that gets you off, whatever. Not here to judge you, anyways. God, Tori, bro, you just like I can't take some of the shit you say seriously, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, I don't give two fucks. on
Tori,
this.
are you gonna get attacked by a dog on the live? That would just be like
That
that shit.
Chihuahua.
That'll get us some views, man. That should
Yeah,
get us
bro.
some
That
views.
would give us some views, bro.
Okay,
We need
Tori,
that.
I'm gonna need you to go find a wild dog and get attacked by it on camera.
Oh, don't.
I'm
Hey,
going to get a
Joe,
Diet Coke.
he said, don't jump in
Tell
that
him
guy's
about the
backyard
dog.
that says, warning, beware, dog is here.
Now imagine like the fence says "Beware dog" and you have like just a Chihuahua.
That'd be
No,
hella funny.
that dog
That's
fucking
literally
bit
what
my
the
dog
Broncos like, bro.
That'd
That's
be
literally what the
hella funny.
Broncos.
Your
once.
dog.
And then my dog turned around and bit her back. And then the owner was like,
Bro. Nah, that would be the Broncos' backyard. There's a fence that says "Beware dog, Chihuahua."
Oh, shit.
It's a little. What
So how do you guys feel about the cuts?
Wasn't anything surprising.
Yeah,
Nick
nothing.
Mullins surprised me a little bit. I thought that, and actually, what surprised me was Kenyon Drake a little bit. I thought they would trade him.
I
not
told
cut him.
you that he was gone. He was
Well,
gonna
I
be
think
gone.
what
you
it
also
is
said that.
there were teams that wanted him, but they didn't want his contract. That's what they didn't want.
Yeah, but also, and I don't think it had anything to do with the contract part. I think it's the fact that you literally just said, 12 hours before that you were cutting them. So if I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, you're gonna cut him, and
Yeah,
you
here's
want me
the-
to trade for him, like,
Yes,
why would
it
I do
became
that? I just
official
let your ass
today.
cut him, and I'll pick him up.
I agree with Jeff
Because-
though. It's a business thing though. It was a business thing. It wasn't personal. It was just business, straight up.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, of course.
Every cut's personal. Every cut. That's how the Raiders roll.
Yeah, because sometimes you got to cut guys you like. You can like them, but you can't be like Gruden. Gruden was too emotional. He would keep guys that were dog trash. Even like his defensive coordinator was dog trash. Then he let go of a good defensive tackle, a defensive line coach, Coach Buckner, for Rod Marinelli. That was a fucking bad mistake. Our defense was ranked 8th in run stopping with Buckner. And then with Rod Marinelli, it went down, so far down.
I was gonna say though, we already knew he
What's
was
that
getting.
noise? Is that you, Tori?
It's my AC.
Oh.
Hey,
AC
Tori,
or
bro, you
swamp
got
cooler?
that thing on like 60 degrees, like full blast, my guy. Relax,
Where are you going now, bro? You
Oh,
were
he's
just
driving?
at home sleep.
Tori.
I
you
just said I was going. I was
Tori,
going
you
to get
just said you
Diet
was
Coke.
tired. Now you gonna go buy some weed? What the fuck, man?
Hey, I don't buy
Regular.
weed. I buy that good shit. It's called meth. Okay.
Oh, bro, I can't even show this shit.
Don't say no dumbass
Nah, bro,
shit
why
like
you saying
that.
that stuff?
Why would you say some dumbass shit like that?
No, I'm just kidding, guys. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably gonna regret what I'm saying tomorrow
Oh no,
morning.
you will.
So.
I mean, I knew
Pay
you was.
attention to the street, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
I
it's not
am.
cool
Wait,
to
no,
do that.
don't tell him to do that. Tell him, make sure he pays attention to the goddamn road. He's gonna have an accident
Yeah.
on the fucking
Dude,
show, bro.
I am.
Hey, I always say this dude is the most dangerous driver I know that I've
Oh,
never
shit.
been in a car with, dude.
Tori,
Oh, man.
you will never see me in the passenger seat of your car.
Oh,
I will
Hey,
bro.
never.
why turn your light off, dude? You get a ticket for driving with the light on like that.
Yeah.
This fucking guy driving down the road with this fucking middle. Good lord.
Yeah. That's crazy.
God. Tori, bro, and they
Hey.
talking about buying meth, bro. God. Rough show.
Hey.
Bro. Rough show.
He's gonna
Rough
go
show.
find. He's looking for the hooker outside of McDonald's. That's looking for the double bacon cheeseburger with no onions or lettuce.
Oh, bro,
Free
my
double-
lights aren't.
Free
My
double
lights aren't
cheeseburger
on.
if you fuck me.
This fool
It'd be messed up
didn't
if
turn
that
on his
hooker
lights,
was a
dude.
transgender or a tranny, you know. And it looked like Andy.
Well,
Dick.
no, because usually I
Tori,
have it
you gonna
on.
go fuck a tranny?
I have it on automatic because it's on my system automatic. But when I went to school today, I had to turn it on, and then I forgot to put it back on automatic.
Ooh.
Oh shit! Look at that.
What?
Some herb.
Some herb?
Yep.
Hey, Dustin, I need to talk to you about something. So remind me. I'm not gonna say it on the show, but it's about the herb. So
About the herb.
it's about the herb.
Damn it, Tori, stop trying to buy drugs on the show.
What is herb?
Oh, I got a question for everybody.
Are you looking for herbal tea or what's up? What's the question?
Yeah.
Or,
Isn't there a friend named Earl?
What's the question, Rudy?
Herb? I'm not gonna
Rudy.
say it on live.
Rudy, what is
Oh.
the question?
the question is, what will you do? What would you guys do if the Rays went to the Super Bowl and won it? What kind of celebration would you do? If
We'll
that
go to
would
Vegas.
happen?
I'd cry. I'd fucking cry. Hey,
Man,
but
fuck you
I-
crying. I'm running down the street.
You know what I would do?
that's what I'm
Shit-faced
crying
drunk
happy. But
as hell. I would
Hey,
get
same
shit-faced
here.
drunk, Get some
I've-
beer, juggle it all over my fucking face like Stone Cold. Get that shit going. That and
hey, that's what
play
I
We Are
would
the
do.
Champions music too by Queen.
I'd fucking go hug my grandpa's urn that we have for him because that's the fucking reason why I'm a Raider. And I fucking cry because he's not here anymore. And then I fucking run outside and street naked saying we won the fucking Super Bowl.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Oh
Hey,
shit.
Tori.
That might be a
Hey,
little.
Tori.
too-
When you say stuff, do you think before you say it?
Hey, I get 0 fucks.
Hell no,
And then,
he
wait a minute,
doesn't.
Tori.
That's why Tori's entertaining.
You don't need to give us detail of stripping down and running out there. We get. Just say we're
He's
going
like,
out
I'll
butt
get
naked.
my socks off. I'm pulling my pants down.
I'll feel.
If you're
Hey,
Dustin, you're running away from your woman.
What do you mean by a woman? You mean a he?
Oh,
Ooh.
I'm just kidding. I stole that
That's
one from
a-
Little Nicky. I
That-
stole
that's
from
a
Lil
lie.
Nicky.
Just like I told that random troll. I mean, it's not random. I know who you fucking are in the chat. Fucking Death
Oh,
Star.
yeah.
That's a line. That's a fucking
Oh, yeah, I
line
saw
you don't want to cross, man. Like straight up. Like that's a line you don't want to fucking cross. You know.
Hey, if it's a woman, it don't matter if she's like big, skinny, or ugly. As long as she makes you happy, that's all that matters, man. It don't matter.
as long as you don't have a
You gotta-
bigger pecker than you, you're fine.
Oh no! If her clitoris is bigger than your pecker, then that.
I,
Like she got that stingray like clitoris.
bro,
Coach
she
says-
must be loose as fuck then, bro.
Coach-
God damn, she had the whole football team run through her, bro. 53-man roster.
What
What happened?
You know, that would be like Kim Kardashian though, she's been smashed by a lot.
Ray J. Then it went to
What's that running back's name for the Saints? Former running back. He was a former USC
Reggie
running
Bush, and then from
Reggie
Reggie Bush
yeah.
went to a basketball player.
Yeah, it was a
Wasn't he with
light-skinned.
Brooklyn?
Bro, she's had like the entire NBA
And then it was
league run
Kanye
trains
West.
through her. What are we
And
saying?
then she went with that Saturday Night Live guy. I forgot what his name is.
Davidson?
Yeah.
Pete Davidson? Well, no, okay, let's be honest. She's had half the NBA league run trains through her. She's had half the actors run
Her
trains through her.
sister
We don't
too.
know about some.
Chloe was the same way. Chloe Kardashian too.
Chloe
whole
was with
Kardashian
Hi,
Lamar.
how are you? Good, how are you? I'm good. Can I get a large Diet Coke, please?
I thought he was getting arrested. I'm not going
Can
to
I
lie.
get some
And,
chicken
that'll be
nuggets with
all.
some white
Chicken
sauce?
nuggets and a Big Mac. Hey, Tori, your best friend's there tonight. Tell him
No,
what's
he's
up.
not.
Tori,
No, he's
where's
not.
your little McDonald's whore, bro?
I hate
No,
McDonald's food.
No, wait,
Nasty.
Tori, not gonna lie to you. When you started talking, I really thought maybe you got pulled over, and I was just,
Oh shit.
I
Hey,
was like,
Tori, turn the volume up. I need to talk to this lady right now.
Turn up the volume, bitch.
Hey, it wasn't no lady. It wasn't no lady. It was a dude. And no,
Oh.
Cortez, it's not the guy you.
Oh,
It's not the fucking guy you think it is. No.
All right,
maybe a guy had high pitched voice.
Dude, hey, there's a guy who plays on the other team who works at McDonald's, and every time I come to McDonald's to get a drink, because I go here because it's a fucking $1 to get a large drink. It's like $3 at the fucking restaurant across the street. Anyways, so he always goes, "Hey, how's it going?" And I'm like, bro, like,
Oh, shit.
chill.
chill, bro.
Is
Come
it
on.
him? Oh my God, it might be him. What the fuck?
This fool.
I fucking hate you, Cortez.
No,
No, I
get
think
that
he-
Diet Coke.
Oh,
He's like,
you got-
he's like, how's
He
it
has a crush on
going? That's
He got a
exactly
crush on
how
you.
he sounds. How's it going?
Ah.
Oh fuck, it is him. No!
Your best friend's there. Oh, shoot.
He's
Tell him
your
what's
crush.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I want
can
that
get the
Diet
change.
Coke. Give me
No
some of
thanks.
that lemon too.
You too.
Wait, real quick. You seen that? He was out of there real quick.
Yeah, man.
Probably because we're
Because I was
embarrassing him.
trying not to laugh. He's probably like, this guy wants me. No, I don't play that way. Like, I'm sorry, I don't play that way.
I know there was a gay dude in
Check the
at
cup.
Burger King in
Check the
Hanford,
cup.
too.
He put his number
But
on
that
the cup.
motherfucker was like on Red fucking Bull or some shit. He was all lit up, real flamboyant. I knew he was a gay guy. I said he's a big gay dude, and he was a big gay dude. I just heard his voice. I knew what he was, you know. And like, yeah, it was
Hey.
a big gay dude.
Don't get me wrong, like, I'll always support people, but you know, I don't fly that way, you know.
Yeah, I know.
I don't believe
Someone
it.
else was
You know,
cool
I
player.
Tori,
If-
Tori, you don't need to be scared around us, bro. You can come out the closet. We're here to
Hey.
to support you, bro.
Hey,
Tori, we know you've been around the street once or twice.
with the ladies, yeah.
What
Some guys
in,
are on
in
the
Disneyland?
down low.
God, bro, relax. It's okay. You know, if you're kind of piped by a dude, we still accept you into the Raider family, bro. It's okay.
Yeah.
Ask Dustin. No. Dustin, where you been? Dustin is out of this. He's on a different planet right now.
Yeah. I would rather be a lesbian than a gay dude, though.
What
Most
the
guys
fuck?
are lesbians.
It's so
Can
random.
we-
I'd rather
I
be a
thought we were
lesbian.
talking
Oh, shit.
football over here.
All right,
I thought
let's
we
talk
were
football.
talking
All right.
football. Man, we're on some wild path shit over
I
here.
think half
boy.
of
all
us
Tori's
are
fault.
kind of high, bro. So give us a break.
Holy cow, we're on next level shit. What's our
Yeah.
football questions? What are we looking at?
All right, let me see. I said this before in the Death Star before. Who will we draft next year with our first round draft pick? Will we go
I don't know. That's
defensive tackle or linebacker or something else?
See, we don't know, like, you know,
Yeah,
and
we
that's
don't
the
know
thing
yet.
is like,
But
heaven
it's
forbid, you
just an
know,
opinion,
fucking, I'm not gonna fucking say this, but heaven forbid, you know, Derek Carr gets hit in the head and gets a fucking life, you know,
Jesus
career-ending
Christ.
injury
Tori,
or
we're going way too
fucking
far with this.
shit.
Anyways,
Sorry, don't say that.
You know, like
Tori.
we don't fucking know.
I was gonna say,
But-
okay, here's the biggest thing though.
But
We don't know who we're gonna resign, who we won't. Here's the thing:
Yeah.
we have like 3 corners that could leave us after this year, right? Here's the thing: if we don't re-sign them, then our biggest need comes probably to corner.
Yep.
It comes down to what happens after this year. So honestly, I'm not gonna answer that question until I see who we re-sign and who we sign in free agency. It's kind of hard to predict at that point.
I think it might be defensive tackle because Jonathan Hankins, I think this might be his last year. I mean, he's an older player and he could retire after this year. If the Raiders win a Super Bowl and everything, I think he's going to
The
definitely
oldest
retire.
player on the team is Chandler Jones at 32.
Yeah,
Isn't
but
Deron Harmon 32 too?
I don't know, probably.
Maybe
But Jonathan
Hey.
Hankins is a defensive tackle, and tackles age faster. Running back.
Oh yeah, they take some of the biggest
Yeah.
beat. Okay, wait a minute.
All
That
right,
sounds so
all
wrong,
right.
but they take some of the biggest like most. They're the most.
Yeah.
They're the one of the more physical positions in football. They're up on that
And the
line,
running backs,
taking a
too.
beating every week.
Running backs age fast. They don't last more than 5 years, depending on how you.
It's the
you
lead.
play a
Okay,
dual
running back.
or-
Like okay, as crazy as it's not crazy to say, but it's as crazy as it sounds. It's pretty much running back is the least valuable position in football.
Yeah.
Realistically, at this point, you can replace anyone. You can replace a first-round running back with a 6th-round running back. To be honest, so
Depends. It depends on how good your scouts are, because some scouts.
Harmon's
see things-
31.
Oh, that's pretty close. I mean,
Oh,
Derek
yeah.
Carr's 31 or 32. I can't remember.
I think he's only 29. Or
No.
30.
No, Derek Carr is 31.
No, Carr's
Derek
31.
Carr's 31. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same age as his older brother, David Carr. Just that his brother's just a few months older than me.
And
That's
then
the crazy.
and then Devontae's gonna be 30.
Yeah,
mid-season.
Devontae. Yeah, Derek Carr is a more. When he was a rookie quarterback, he was a little.
But I'm
more,
not worried about
seasoned.
their ages because I think they can
No,
both play into
no.
their 40s.
And the crazy thing is Devontae's gonna be playing on his birthday
Yeah.
in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. I agree with William. The medicine and the way that what's available nowadays for your body and how athletes and
Well,
the
no.
advancement of athlete medicine and all that
it has
stuff,
no-
like people are gonna start playing longer.
It's not even about medicine. It's about the training for your body. If you can stay in the best
Yeah,
shape of
that's
your
what
life.
I meant by it.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, yes. Okay. If you stay in the best shape, look, here's the thing. We haven't had this discussion as much.
What?
It's not talked about, but we all know Tom Brady is stuck in the best shape of his life. Max Crosby's on that type of like physicality. Like he's in playing. He's got his body in the best shape of his life. Who says he cannot go and produce twice as good as he did last year with more sacks? I wouldn't say more pressures, but around the same amount of pressures with more sacks and more tackles for loss and stuff, right? And he can't play until his 40s. He can.
Yeah, it's possible. The reason why.
Hey,
that
one
was
thing real
interesting what you
quick.
said about. Go ahead.
One thing real quick. Hey, you know, you don't need to be so quick to turn down medicine, Will. It's okay. We know you know you like to take that Viagra, okay? All right, enough said.
I think he's
Go
too young
ahead,
for
Rudy.
What
Viagra.
is this? Wait, what is it? What is
He's
this
too young
show
for
concept?
Viagra, dude. When you get when a like an 18 or 19-year-old
Hey,
takes
Tori.
Viagra, man.
Tori, unlike you, I don't need it.
Well, he's young. He's young. You know, young guys don't need it unless they have some kind of problem. That's an early problem, but it's rare
Yeah,
for
okay.
young guys.
What is this show? What is this
I
show
don't know.
concept?
Okay,
Wait a minute.
okay, let's
Were we
get back to
not-
football.
Were we
Okay,
Yeah,
not
let's
talking
get back
about
to
football?
In
football.
fact, Tom Brady, like we were saying about Tom Brady, why is Tom Brady lasting so long? It's not just because of his regiment. The number one reason why Brady is staying longer is because he's a fucking pocket quarterback. He doesn't scramble and do all that run around shit. And guys like Lamar Jackson are not going to last long. Lamar Jackson's not a real quarterback. He's a running back. That's what he really is. Yeah, so what? He can throw the ball, but he's not a consistent passer or anything. And the reason why pocket quarterbacks last longer is because they don't put their bodies on the line when they run like almost 90% of the time. Look at Michael Vick. He was I think he was one of the best scrambling quarterbacks of all times, and I don't think Lamar can hold his candle. People say he's like Michael Vick, but he's not. Because Michael Vick can throw a fucking football outside the pocket or inside the pocket. Lamar Jackson is a terrible inside, pocket quarterback. He throws the ball better outside, and that's why he gets hurt, because he does a lot of running plays. And the Ravens, they're looking like they're just going to run the ball. And you know what's going to happen is they're going to drop from being normally a second-place contender. They're going to be third. I don't think they're going to go dead last. I think that belongs to the Browns. The Browns are going to go dead last because, they fucked up by getting rid of Baker Mayfield. They got rid of some other players. They lost 3 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks. Nothing to build around that team. That team needs more. They got to bust up Amari Cooper. That's their best receiver. And then you got, like, Kareem Hunt says, fuck it, trade me. I don't want to be on this team, because he knows what's going on. He's saying this team is just trying to buy championship. And a quarterback cannot buy a championship. It's what you put around the whole team.
Yeah, I agree with you. I always thought, I never, when you put all your nuggets or all your stuff into one player, football is a team sport. Everybody's gotta work together. It's not, you can't put a 230 million guaranteed into one guy who hasn't played football in a year and expect to win right away.
Yeah.
Like that's not gonna work. What do you think,
Be out for
Cortez?
8 more games too.
Yeah, Cortez.
He
what do you
muted
think?
himself.
Oh, of course you did.
I
Dustin,
took
what
off-
do you think?
I took off for a minute. What did you guys say?
We're talking about the Browns and how putting all your nuggets into one player is not gonna work.
No, it's not gonna work.
I would have said eggs, not nuggets. You put all your eggs in one basket. That's the ideology that you say. You put all your eggs in one basket, and the ideology is never put all your eggs in one basket, because those eggs will crack. That's what I think. That would have been a better ideology term. But yeah, nuggets. That's super new to me.
Tori eats fucking chicken nuggets, dude. That's how he is. He's like fucking
Hey.
chicken nuggets.
I knew you were gonna go there, Dustin.
Hell yeah, I'm surprised you didn't get none with some white sauce over there. I was fucking waiting for it.
I don't like McDonald's chicken nuggets. They're
No,
nasty.
you're full of
I like
crap.
Burger King. I like the chicken fries from Burger King.
Dude, the chicken fries are fire. I thought about having that for dinner tonight, but I had locked meat instead.
I gotta
Dude, this guy.
dog out. I'll be right. Come here, Chief. Let's go outside. Come on, boy. Go get the kitty, boy.
Hey, Rudy, what's your intake on the whole Dana White thing?
Dana White thing? Oh, that's a good question. He's talking shit. He thought Tom Brady, because you know what? He just looks at accomplishments. He's an MMA guy and everything, and he looks at just accomplishments. Tom Brady, you put Tom Brady in the AFC West, like with the Raiders, he's going to get fucking slaughtered. He didn't have a number one wide receiver like there, he had no number one wide receiver. He would have just Darren Waller. He'd be throwing the fucking ball to Darren Waller. Waller would get killed a lot more, and probably Darren Waller would get injured, probably quicker with Tom Brady than Derek Carr. Because Derek Carr doesn't always throw it to Darren Waller. People think he's just going to throw it to Darren Waller. But when Tom Brady pisses on himself, he's going to throw the ball to the big guy. That's what he always does. He did that to Gronk. That's why Gronk got busted up, because of Tom Brady. He threw the fucking ball to him because they put a lot of pressure on Tom Brady, and the receivers get covered so easy because they're just, they're not deep threat receivers. So he just throws that fucker right to Gronkowski, throws it up. Gronk, exposes his ribs. He takes a lot of hits. And if you ever to look at all his injuries from his body, you could say guys like Troy Polamalu and all these linebackers from the Ravens or everybody else, he's taken so much damage, the Gronk is never going to be the same player as he was before. You know, he's too busted up. You know, I mean, the only best tight ends right there, I would say, is Travis Kelce and Darren Waller. That's what I would say right there.
What about Kittle?
He's good too. He's more of a skilled blocker. He might be a better blocker than Waller, but Waller's a better receiver.
Mm-hmm.
But Kelce, he's more complete. He may not be fast like Waller, but what he does is when the linebackers come at him, he uses his arms, like, you know, not his hands, and that way they can't like jam at him. And when linebackers try to jam at him, he just fucking cuts their arms apart. You know, he's like a fucking meat grinder. That's what I don't like about Travis Kelce, because he's a fucking meat grinder. He's hard to cover. It's hard for anybody to cover Travis Kelce.
Darren Waller, you're gonna see more. I think now and then into the future, you're gonna see more tight ends like Darren Waller, where the people line him and then people line him up at tight end. They can go wide with them, kind of like Kyle Pitts.
Hey, there's another tight end that plays for Baltimore. Isaiah Likely, isn't it? Isn't that his name, Dustin?
For the Ravens?
Yeah, number 80.
Yep, Isaiah Likely was a little badass.
Honey, quiet. I'm going to put you on my lap. Quiet. She can hear me.
But
My dog's 17 years old and she can still hear.
What do you guys think about what you guys think about today? Like, were you guys excited? Were you guys, oh, that's just what we expected? Like, how do you guys feel about how today went with the joint practices?
Man, bro, I loved it.
I wish I'd seen it, though. I couldn't see it. I had to hear from Chad Sports with the Raiders report.
Man, bro, that just brings memories back. That should just bring memories back with DC and Devontae.
Yeah. Uh-oh. I think it's an internet thing for Dustin.
Yeah, he gets robot. He's going to the hill. But I've always said, I mean, I expected today. Dust. Derek Carr and Devontae Adams are gonna kill it. That's just who they are. It's crazy because I saw today somebody who's affiliated with our server, and good dude. Like, I'm not tagging who the person is, but he went on and said, like, oh, Darren Waller's not top 3. Motherfucker, what'd you just say? Like,
I'd say he's top 2.
He's definitely top 3. Like, people don't understand, like, it's not, it would not surprise me if Josh McDaniels went out last night or yesterday and said, oh, Darren Waller, not Darren Waller, Devontae Adams isn't practicing tomorrow. That would not surprise me because they're trying to not make him get hurt. I've always liked joint practices because joint practices are, like Derek said today in the press conference, it's a more like a live game. It's more like a regular season game because coaches are trying to fill out what they have. Obviously you're not trying to show too much, but it's more of a live game than the freaking preseason is.
Yeah, well, I do agree to some extent, but when it's the last season, you're really going to cut your players. You want to play some of your starters. I mean,
you don't want to play your starters the last week
because you want them to be prepared. Because last time we didn't play our starters, we were out of.
That may get cut.
Cortez, let him talk. Go ahead, Rudy.
Okay. Yeah, the reason why I say this, I know people, but I'm not saying this like because to get them hurt. I would limit it, like first half. Have Derek Carr just do one drive and that's it. Kick a field goal or a touchdown, whichever one, then he's out. Then you put the backup in, and you have the backup with some of the semi-starters, and then have them play. And then you start to get all the other guys. You're really going to cut a lot of people. So you want to do is You got to get them into shape, because if you don't get your starters to play a little bit, they're going to be out of shape when the regular season comes. And that's happened before. When we played against the Broncos, we beat them, but it was an ugly game. And our players were out of shape, but we won the game, but it was an ugly win. And that was, I believe that was 2019, though, when we did that.
But here's the thing. It just like Derek said today, you put in the work. You put in the work at practice. You start your process at practice. Yeah. That's what practice is for, I don't, I see where you're coming from. It's good to be prepared. My grandpa used to actually think the same way, but I don't think like that, because, you're just risking, like the Chiefs last week, they went out there and put Pat Mahomes, and he's out there slinging under. Like, what the heck are you doing, dude? You're going to get hurt, Like,
well, they do make an agreement with each other, though, to play some of their starters. They do that. So if they say, we're not going to put our starters in, and they have to have an agreement, and they'll say, well, okay. But with us, when we played against the Dolphins, we had our semi-starters, but we didn't have Derek Carr. They had their starting quarterback, Tua, play, but they wanted Tua to play because they want to see more of him, the head coach. He wants to see if he's going to be a true franchise quarterback or not, because Tua's in the hot seat, unfortunately. And I don't blame it all on him. I blamed it on the coaching a little bit, not utilizing him right. I kind of thought he was injury prone when they drafted him, and they're regretting that they got him. I think they'd rather have had Justin Herbert than Tua. That's what I believe. The Dolphins, they regretted getting Tua. I really think they regretted it.
I have a question for you, Rudy. Would you do this? Say in 3 years, 2 years, would you do this? Would you do a first round and Justin Herbert for Derek Carr in 2 years? I would.
No.
Hands down. No. I would. Because
I wouldn't do it. I'll tell you why I wouldn't do it. Number one reason is that Derek Carr has earned it, and here's the only way. When Derek Carr earns his job ends with Raider Nation. He doesn't go to another team. He stays with the Raiders. And if you were to do that trade, he has a no-trade policy on his contract, but he doesn't have a fully guaranteed contract, so the worst thing that the Raiders could do is just release him. And if he releases, he'll retire. And what Derek Carr said, that if he didn't get an extension, he would play this year. And then next year, if they didn't re-sign him, he'd play golf and retire as a Raider. Even though he'd still be in his prime, still young and everything, he would rather just play, he'd rather play as a Raider. So there's no trading for Derek Carr. And if there was, it would mess things up really bad. It would.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert, let me tell you something about Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is a finesse player, but he does not deal pressure as good as Derek Carr. Derek Carr's dealt with way more pressure. The reason why Justin Herbert did better last year than the year before in his rookie year is because he had a better O-line. He didn't have a good O-line. He struggled a lot. But like I said, he doesn't, once he plays, because we were kind of busted up and everything, that's the reason why the Chiefs and the Chargers were coming up, because of us. When we were having no Gruden, no Henry Ruggs, and had injuries with Darren Waller and some of our other players, that's the reason why they were doing better. And it happens. If you don't manage your roster well, that's what happens. And that's what was wrong with us last year. And it was the blame of the coach. And you could say Gruden, a little bit of Bill Bisaccia, but Bisaccia, though, is dealing with a lot of responsibility and everything. But for that, though, we did pretty damn good. Went to the playoffs, even with a banged-up team and everything. And we beat the Chargers. We beat them. We could have tied with them and went third place in our division, and we'd end up playing the Chiefs, in the playoffs, and we'd get beat a third time because we did not have the firepower on offense. But I think this year, Chiefs have no firepower at all. They do not have it. They do not have Tyreek Hill. They don't have Pringle. All they have is Travis Kelce, and Travis Kelce is going to take a lot of hits. And the Raiders are going to have speed advantage over them, the running game over them, and they'll have the defense. The Chiefs don't have a good defense. They have a developmental starting young defense. So, it's not going to be real countable. And I think the Chiefs, it could be between the Raiders and the Chiefs, or it could be the Raiders and the Chargers. That's how I am looking at it.
I think it's going to be the Raiders and the Chargers. Like I said, the Chargers are our enemies. I don't like them. They're in our division, right? But I've
Yeah.
always said, you always have to be honest,
Yeah.
and they're freaking good. Like they're really good, So
Yeah, I think
it's
they
gonna be
improved
really
on.
interesting.
Yeah, I
What do
think they
you think,
improved on the.
Cortez? But you brought up a good point, Rudy. You really did, and the fact that that's what Herbert has not even in college was he never played good in big games. Like even when like you just said when he was in Oregon, that was
Yeah, he's still a
always his
young
big
player
knock.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's still a young player too. And it's also here's another reason why the Chiefs could and not the Chargers. The Chargers do not have a great play calling offense. Andy Reid's a better play caller. His staff is better than the Chargers. The only thing that Andy Reid's main problem is his ego. When he gets really egotistic, he underestimated the Chargers and they beat them, because his ego gets too big, he thinks he could replace anybody really quickly, and he finds out that's wrong. He says, as long as I've Patrick Mahomes, nothing can go wrong. That's the kind of ego that Andy Reid has. I mean, he changed the whole offensive line, and the Chiefs went like fourth place for a while, but then they slowly came back because you cannot underestimate Andy Reid. He's a great play caller, and he does know how to manage players, but he gets a little bit arrogant where he could start with nothing, but then he has to build it up. I mean, if Gruden had not been gone and Henry Ruggs didn't have that, I think it might have been a different scenario. We would have at least beaten the Chiefs once, in my opinion. We could not counter them with their speed for speed without Henry Ruggs. That's the reason why we kind of lost. And we played soft coverage defense. That zone coverage defense, the Chiefs picked us apart. And I look at the Chargers schedule and it doesn't look too hard. So yeah, they could be second place, or they could be first place and we be second place. Because I'm looking at their schedule, it's not too hard. The only really hard teams they play against are the Rams, maybe Tennessee, Arizona. I'd call them a little hard. 49ers. You know what? I'm not even calling them hard because they're not going to have Jimmy Garoppolo. I still don't think that the 49ers they might go to the playoffs, but they'll play as a pretender, In Seattle, they suck. Denver sucks. Yeah, they got a fucking easy schedule. The only teams that they're going to have tough is the Raiders and the Chiefs, and let me see, and the Rams. Those are the main tough teams in my book.
Yeah, and then plus that going back, Rudy, always a division game's gonna always be hard, regardless if the team sucks or not.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, they're gonna face us. They're gonna face the Chiefs, but they could have a better divisional win. I mean, let's just put it this way: in the past, the Raiders went 6-0 in the division and didn't go to the playoffs. The Chiefs did. Mm-hmm. We beat everybody. That was in 2011. I believe that was the day that Al Davis had passed away and everything. And that's not going to happen. That was a rare thing to happen. Now let me look at the Chiefs' schedule. This is how I could tell if they're going to be. I think this favors the Chargers of being the fight against the Raiders, despite the fact that they're missing a lot of great players. Let's see, Green Bay was their player.
Also, going back to when we played the Chiefs this year, you have to remember we were competing with them when we played them in Vegas. It was a close game all the way through, and then frickin' Deshaun Jackson went the wrong way and fumbled, and then that's when it got ugly. We were driving down. It was a 10-point game. We were driving down the field to make it a 3-point game, and he fumbled and he went down. They went down and scored a touchdown, and then it got out of hand.
You know what the toughest teams that the Chiefs are going to face?
And 12 minutes, we're going to end this, all right?
I just want to say something real quick. You know what the toughest teams that the Chiefs are going to have a problem with would be Tampa Bay, and I wouldn't say Arizona. Buffalo would be another tough team, and us, and maybe the Chargers and the Rams. It's pretty tough. And Cincinnati. So the Chiefs got a little bit of a tough schedule. I mean, it looks a little easy from the beginning a little bit, but it gets a little tougher for them. So they got a pretty tough schedule. And that gives the advantage to the Chargers, to be honest with you. So the Chargers and the Raiders could be at the only way that or it could be a dogfight between all three teams. The Raiders, the Chargers, and the Chiefs.
You
It could
ready?
be
You
that
ready
way.
for? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying that it's
It
just
could be-
going to be tough.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders are going to dominate, in my personal opinion, because we got the better receivers. The tight ends, I think, we're tied with the Chiefs. Because I'm not just going by Travis Kelce and Darren Waller. I'm going by the whole roster of tight ends. I think
the whole unit.
yeah,
Who
the whole
is
unit.
Denver's? Who is the Donkeys tight end? Never heard of them. Have you
I
guys?
never heard of them. They got rid of Noah Fat. They fucked themselves right
Hey,
there.
bro, Noah.
Hey, I thought they gave up way too much. Because I was working when the news broke out. I was working at the school, so I couldn't check my phone. But the guy I was working with was like, "Holy shit, Russell Wilson's going to Denver." I was like, "Fuck, man!" And then once I sat down and looked at it, I was like, "God, man, they gave up way too much," And then their logic is, "Oh, we did this with Peyton, motherfuckers." Peyton Manning, Russell Wilson isn't freaking Peyton Manning,
he's not a quarterback.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, people are so high on Cincinnati. They had everything go right for them last year. The Ravens fell apart. The Steelers fell apart. It would not surprise me if they go 10-7. If they magically or drastically fell off. Their line's still not that great. The outside of Hendrickson and Bates, their defense isn't that great.
Yeah. I do agree with you there. The one thing that kept Joe Burrow going was his quarterback. Was his name Jamar Chase? That was, and Jamar Chase and the other receiver core. It helped him more because he had better familiarity, and that made Joe Burrow look like he's truly a first round quarterback. I mean, he proved his stripes and going to the Super Bowl, even though they lost it. But you have to give your hat to the Bengals though. Despite the fact the Chiefs, they got super scared from that they could not. You know why they really lost to the Bengals? Is because they could score just as fast as them, and they didn't have a running game to control the time. That's why we beat the Chiefs in 2000.
See, and that's one thing I never understood with Gruden is when we play the Chiefs, we pass a lot. Motherfucker, run the ball. They're the worst run defense in the league. And we have Josh Jacobs, But, Derek Carr caught fire that game. He was on fire. He threw that interception. Which that wasn't his fault. He tried to throw. Yeah. He tried to throw it up so it wouldn't ricochet, and it came back and bit him in the ass.
Yeah. What it was is that the Raiders, they didn't have Henry Ruggs. They could have got away with it with Henry Ruggs because when we played the Chiefs, Ruggs was not on our roster. He was already out of the team because of the DUI situation. They thought that Zay Jones could replace him. They were fucking wrong. Zay can't run a fucking route. He's not a deep threat. He has terrible body motion. Where Hunter Renfrow, smaller wide receiver, has better body motion. Might not have the big hands, but he's got great body motion, good awareness. Zay Jones does not have good body motion. He's just a possession wide receiver. And Jacksonville overpaid that fool. And I'm saying that I think Zay is just a marginal receiver. I don't think he's a true number 2 or number 1. He's more of a 3 or 4 wide receiver.
Yeah, I agree. But I also think, they couldn't do it. Remember, the trade deadline was the week before that whole thing happened. So they couldn't do anything. They had to sign Deshaun Jackson,
Yeah, they just signed him, when he was released and everything. And Deshaun Jackson, he was okay, but he showed some age, though. He's an old receiver. He's played in the mid 2000s, early mid 2000s. I mean, he's been around for a while, and he's not as fast as he used to be.
I was a kid. I still remember I was a kid when he was good. You know, like when he ran that touchdown back to beat the Giants. You know, remember that and then Todd
I see.
McLaughlin, and he got
Yeah, he
hella
celebrated
pissed off
too
at
soon.
that kicker. I still remember. I was so little. I was like 10 years old.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
know, man. That
I'm
shit
old.
was.
I'm 42, going to be 43 years old. You know that I'm older than Dustin. You know, in fact, Dustin's like the same age as my little bro.
See that like Dustin's young because like he looks like he's older. You know, like he looks like he'd be in his 40s. You know, but he is younger. I'm actually hanging out with that fool this weekend.
Yeah, with
Cause
me,
he's
Where at?
huh?
Where at?
I think him and I are supposed to go to lunch with his wife and his kids.
Cool, cool.
yeah. And yesterday was my dad's birthday, and tomorrow's going to be my friend's birthday. Kind of crazy how
So
that.
my birthday's in a week and a day.
Oh,
Yep, next
my
Wednesday.
birthday.
No,
I rather have my birthday in the
it's
summer.
next Thursday.
It's
you know
the
what?
first,
Summer
right?
would be best.
Yep. Next.
That's next Wednesday, I think.
No, it's Wednesday's the 31st. That's my grandfather's birthday.
Yeah, my nephew's birthday's in September the 26th. He'll be 22. That's
I
my.
may show up that night. If you guys want to come on and chill,
Oh, okay. You do that.
you know.
I like one thing. One thing
ahead.
I like about our show. One thing I like about our show is it's freelance. You know, like we can laugh, we can have fun. With Dustin, you know, they care about views because they're trying to promote the server, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I understand that, but it makes it to where like it's a lot more stressful to be on there. You know.
Yeah. What happened to William? You know, I noticed
He
he was
left.
gone a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. He was pretty entertaining
It's
for a
almost
little
that
bit.
time.
But, you know, that kid was like stressing. I got to have my weed. Got to have my weed. Like, what the fuck, kid? Are you doing speed?
Are you guys ready to end it?
Sure.
I want to thank everybody that showed up, that watched it. Whoever watches it replay. Just appreciate you guys. Just keep on bringing up the subs.
Yep.
Much
Later,
love.
guys. Yep. Much love, bro.
Hey,
Appreciate
bro,
you
wait
guys.
backstage.
All right.